graduated high school here. Originally from Clinton. I've been here since 8th grade. But I lived in Southeast North Carolina.
I feel like I've been here too long.
Clinton, well, a few years when I was really young, I lived in Southwest Hotel. All my adult life. Yeah, you know what the McDonald's is up there? Yeah. Oh, actually.
Like that already. Watch it every night. She's like, that's my fault. I watch it.
So I'm going downtown. I want to make a connection with my TV.
The people we trust to protect us. We allowed industry to lobby and corrupt elected officials, to weaken environmental protection, to choose pollution over people. And over time, we grew accustomed to this twisted and toxic worldview. We started to believe that this was just how things had to be. Folks, it doesn't have to be this way. In fact, it can't be this way anymore. We can't let our air and our water get dirtier while we get sicker and our planet begins to pass the point of no return. We have got to change the way we do things in this country, across the world. So how do we fix things? How do we make sure that there is never another Gen X? Well, first of all, we refute the lie. Industry doesn't have to pollute our air and water. If we can send people to live in space and power entire cities with the power of the sun, if we can look inside a single atom or see light years across the universe, then we can treat industrial waste in our water. We can keep industrial waste out of our water. If companies can make billions of dollars in profits every year, then they can reinvest those profits in finding ways to manufacture products in a way that doesn't use our water and our air as their dumping ground. Second, we stop tolerating politicians that put polluters over people. Politicians serve the people, not industry. Third, we start to see the attacks on science and regulation for what they are. Industry-led strategies with one purpose: profit for industry. We need real science now more than ever, and we need regulation of industry to prevent another Gen X. DuPont and Chemours poisoned our water. The water I drank my whole life. The water my mother drank while she carried me in her belly. The water my two little girls have drank their whole life. And I am mad as hell. So let's change the game. When industry says they have to pollute to keep our economy strong, let's not fall for that lie. When our leaders take big checks from polluters and forget that they serve the people, let's remind them that no profit margin is worth our children's health. When they weaken environmental regulations, let's recognize it for what it is: politicians putting polluters over people. And let's send them packing. I hope that for our community, Gen X is a wake-up call, a reminder that we are at a crossroads. We cannot afford to choose the wrong path. We have got to remember what matters: our environment, our health, our loved ones, our quality of life. We have got to start standing up for those things, and we have got to start telling polluters no. Thank you.
Good morning, Wilmington. Good morning. Just like to thank y'all for coming out. Give y'all yourself a hand for showing up. I done seen y'all more than I've seen some of y'all politicians all week putting in effort because we have a cause. And I appreciate y'all showing up, because this unity right here is beautiful. This is the type of unity that brings change, and it starts here with us. So I appreciate y'all, because this is Aaron Brockovich has said earlier this week, Superman isn't coming. It's up to us to make that change. But I can honestly say that I see Superman in each and one of you every day. Because when our children wake up in the morning, they don't call out for Superman. They look for us. So every day as we striving to put a meal on the table, as we striving to put shelter over their head, or anything else we do to improve the living standards of our family, friends, or fellow man, we are that superhero. And what better time than now do we need a superhero in a society so full of problems? See, when you live in a society that constantly raises taxes versus increasing jobs, then you have a problem. When you live in a society that poisons the water but doesn't produce decent health care, then you have a problem. When you live in a society where the lack of accountability has become a government standard, then there's a problem. And that problem is staining our entire public. That problem is becoming a contamination in our entire governmental structure, and in turn, which they try to filter out with government dollars. But the people have awoken. We are aware of what's going on, and we have questions. And with these questions, our politicians have no answers. So those answers, in return, fester in the minds of the people as it was a cancer. But our politicians have no chemotherapy for our issues. In return, they have a lot of excuses and deceits and finger pointing and beating around the bush. But I can tell you this, Wilmington, when someone's beating around the bush because it's a snake in the grass, but no one wants to point him out. So until they show a lot more accountability, we need to start cutting the grass and trimming the hedges every November. It's power in numbers, and right now we're stronger than ever. And so until we see a more proactive approach with this water issue or any other issues that we deem necessary, we need to begin landscaping for the next couple of Novembers until all those snakes are out of the grass. The time is now, and it starts with us. Divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's continue to stand together, Wilmington. I salute you. Thank you.
We're going to move that down. Sorry, I'm old and short, but anyway, I did make it up the steps. I had a little battle with my bike and the bike won. Anyway, I'm Sandy Ford. I represent BEAT, which is Brunswick County's environmental group. We are here to work with Clean Cape Fear and anybody who can help us get this situation taken care of. I moved to Wilmington area about a year ago now because it seemed like the perfect place to retire. And while I feel for all the kids that have cancer, I just want the people and the government officials of Brunswick County, particularly, which is the fastest growing county in North Carolina right now, to understand that the tremendous growth of people moving to this area and a big engine to spur the economy is because of the beautiful beaches and the beautiful area that is here and the water. And if you take all those things away, you're going to take all the retirees away. And I know sadly that a lot of our politicians could care less about the environment, and all they care about is money. And so if that's how we have to talk to politicians to get them to understand that they need to pay attention to this, then that's how I will do it. I resent having to buy bottled water. I have never bought bottled water in my life because I don't like throwing all these bottles in the landfill. But what choice do we have? In Brunswick County, they have told us that the water is perfectly safe to drink. that there's nothing wrong with it. It's clean as anything. And I feel like that is such a disservice to all the people who live in Brunswick County. We have politicians that represent us taking campaign contributions from Kimors. And even when that was exposed, they commented about it, but they didn't say, well, we're going to give it back. And that's wrong. Being clean water and clean air is not a Democratic issue. It's not a Republican issue. Everybody has to drink that water, and everybody has to breathe the air. For too long, we have said we've got to have good jobs, and who cares about the environment? But it can't go on. So I ask all of our elected officials to please quit denying it. Please quit delaying the money to fund the research to find out what's going on. And please quit denying the fact that there's something wrong with the water, because there is. Thank you.
My name is Lynn Shoemaker, and I am a founding member of Women Organizing Wilmington. We are 1,600 plus strong in women who are standing up for their families. We meet every Monday from 12 to 1, typically, on this corner right here, during our lunch hour. And we protest bad bills, bad spills, and a lack of representation for our families. Last week we moved our protest to 300 North 3rd Street, right up here, and we'll be there again for our 25th week in front of Mike Lee's office, Senator Mike Lee. And you're welcome to join us. He says he has tough questions for the governor, who has requested funding for DEQ and DHHS. Well, I have tough questions for Senator Lee. He recently supported funding a pork belly project for $720,000 for 3D glasses, for a character building program in 4 counties, none of them ours, for a program that those school systems didn't even request. But now he is blocking the governor's request for 0.001% of the budget from a surplus of rainy day money to help us clean up our drinking water in the Cape Fear River. That $720,000 comes, it's a big chunk out of what we're asking for, and it seems to me that Mr. Lee should be representing the people of New Hanover County. Representative Deborah Butler said this to me last night at my kitchen table. Our house is on fire, and you don't stop to ask questions, you put the fire out. I ask you to watch what they do, not what they say. There are 3 people at the state level helping us right now, and that is our governor, our attorney general, and Representative Deb Butler, and that's it. Please call Senator Mike Lee and tell him that this is not a game. This is serious. And we want clean water now. We want it now. What do we want?
Clean water.
When do we want it?
Now.
I'm sorry, what do we want?
Clean water.
When do we want it?
Now.
Thank you.
Aaron and Bob were supposed to be among us. Unfortunately, Aaron had a family emergency come up, and please keep her and her family in your prayers right now. This is really, yeah, as everybody else is praying for our community, right now, I think we should be praying for her and her family as well. So, thank you guys. But anyways, thank you everybody for coming out today. We truly appreciate it. Thank you for everybody for, hey Pumpkin. Are you taking a picture of me? Sorry. But thank you everybody for coming out today. Thank you everybody for speaking. Thank you guys. And we will get our clean drinking water. We will hold everybody accountable. And thank you guys. Thank you so much. I apologize. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go see if my car got towed.